Okay guys, let's go over our test review C here. So make sure that if you want to skip around, go ahead. Just an idea to give you how to do these problems. Okay, first thing we're going to do is just to simplify these. So I'm going to use multiplying by the reciprocal technique. So the first fraction is going to stay the same. I'm going to turn my division to multiplication, and that's going to take the reciprocal of the second fraction, and I get that. Now I'm going to look to cross cancel. Nothing with 3 and 7, but 4 and 8. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So that gives me 6/7 as my final answer. Okay, for number 2, I'm going to do 6/25 divided by 4, which is really 4 over 1. That's going to be important for my reciprocal. Do 6/25 times 1/4 when I do the reciprocal. I look to cross cancel. Nothing with 1 and 25, but 6 and 4 can be reduced by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now when I multiply, I get 3 over 50. Okay. Number 3, if there's a mixed number involved, I need to turn that to improper fraction first. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 4 is 39/5, divided by 13/15. Then I'm going to turn it into rewrite it as a multiplication problem. So it's going to be 39 over 5 times 15 over 13. I look at my crosses. Well, 5 goes into 15. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 15 divided by 5 is 3. And 13 goes into 39. 13 divided by 13 is 1. And 39 divided by 13 is 3. Now when I multiply, I get 9 over 1. Do not leave that as 9 over 1. You want to simplify that to just 9. And number 4, I'm going to do 6 times 2 plus 1. So 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Over 6 divided by 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 4/3. Then I'm going to multiply by reciprocal. So it's 13/6 times 3 over 4. I'm going to look to cross cancel. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So that gives me 13 over 8. I'm going to write that as a mixed number. If I'm going to show my work for that, you're going to do this. 8 goes into 13 once. Subtract, there's a remainder of 5. So that's 1 and 5/8. That's how you do the first 4 problems. Okay, I'm going to move on to the problem solving. Okay, for problem 5 here. Okay, which of the following models represent division problems? Represent division problem 3/4 divided by 3. There could be more than one answer. So what I'm looking for is something that has 3/4 illustrated, and then I break it down into and divide it by 3. Okay. The first one, what I have here is I have 1, 2, 3 sections, and then I'm breaking them down into 3/4 sections. So this would be 3 divided by 3/4, not my original answer, which I'm going to question, which I'm going to rewrite here so we know. Not the same. So A is out. B, I have my 3/4 here, and then when I'm looking at it, excuse me, I have my 4 sections, and I'm taking my 3, and I broke each section into 3 parts. So what I have here is a depiction of 3/4 divided by 3. I've made each section into thirds. Okay, and that would give me my answer. And so that is correct. Oh, I'm sorry. That is incorrect, guys. What I have in this example is I broke each section down into 3, when in reality I should have just been making each section one part. So this is actually 1/4 divided by 3. So that one is also incorrect. C, what I have in C, guys, is I have my 3/4 illustrated, but then I'm taking my 3 and I'm breaking it into each part. So this would be also 3 divided by 3/4. So that one would be incorrect. And what I have in the last one is I have my 3/4 shaded in. So I have my 1, 2, 3 sections shaded in of my 4. And then I broke it into 1, 2, 3 sections. So there's my 3/4 divided into 3 sections. So D is my correct answer. And there's only one answer. Okay, so that is our answer. And if you need to go back and watch that, go ahead. Remember, B is not an answer because I broke each section into 3, which would not be how I would illustrate that. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next page. All right, on page 2, Next problem, a gardener has 8 2/3 bags of mulch. He's going to spread it among his 5. So how much do I have? Remember, I'm always doing total divided by my grouping amount. So my total amount is 8 2/3, and I am dividing that into my 5 sections. So I'm going to turn that into an improper fraction. That's 24 plus 2 is 26 over 3 divided by 5 over 1. Then I turn it into a multiplication problem. 26 over 3 times 1 over 5. That's going to give me an answer of 26 over 15, which simplifies to 1 11/15. Oops, so let me not forget my label. Bags of mulch. Alright. Number 7. I'll leave that up there so you can see it. Number 7, I bought 5 pies for a birthday party. Each person's going to eat 3/5. So how much do I have? My total amount, remember, my total amount is 5, and I'm dividing it by my groupings. My grouping is how much each person's going to eat. That's 3/5. So I'm going to write that as a fractions. 5 over 1 divided by 3 over 5. Then I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So 5 over 1 times 5 over 3. Which is going to give me 25 over 3. I turn that into a mixed number. 3 goes into 25 8 times with 1 left over. So that's 8 1/3 people. Okay, so 8 people can eat full pies, and then somebody doesn't get their full share of 3/5 is what that means. Not 1/3 person's going to eat it. It means that means we don't have enough for the next person. Okay, number 8. Paul took that much Snickers. Okay, oops, that should be Snickers. So I'm going to do 4 2/5, and I'm going to divide it among my 10 friends. So 4 2/5 divided by 10. Okay, my total amount that I have, this is my total amount, divided by my groupings. How many in my group? There's 10 in my group. Turn that into an improper fraction. That's going to be 22 over 5. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2 is 22, divided by 10 over 1. A whole number is always over 1. Multiply by the reciprocal. 22 over 5 times 1 over 10. I can cross cancel. 2 goes into 22 and 10. So divide that by 2, cut it in half, you get 5. Cut that in half, you get 11. So this is going to give me a final answer of 11/25. My unit is pounds. How many pounds? So 11/25 pounds is what each person will get. Alright, and the next question. We got a 2-part question coming up here. So we have 2/7 of a barrel in each batch, and then the factory used a total amount of this. So again, we're going to do total divided by our grouping. Our total is 6 4/7. Our group is each batch uses 2/7. So look for keywords in the problem to help you. Okay, always trying to decide what's the total, what's the group. So now I'm going to turn this into an improper fraction. That's 42 plus 4 is 46. So we're going to have 46/7 divided by 2/7. Then I'm going to do the multiply by the reciprocal. First fraction stays the same, times 7 over 2. The 7s are going to cross cancel, so they become 1s. This 2 is going to become a 1, and I divide that by 2, and I get 23. Multiply those across, I get 23 over 1, which equals 23. And the question is batches of gum, so that's 23 batches of gum. The question usually has the label in there, so look at your question for your label. Okay, let's look at part B now. In part B, a factory can only use 10/11 of a batch of gum. So what I'm going to do then is I can only use that amount, 10/11 of, is multiplication, the batches of gum. Our answer, 10/11 times 23, or 23 over 1. I can't cross cancel, so that's going to be 230 over 11. Okay? And 11 is going to go into that. Can't do that one in your head. That's okay. Over here, it's going to go into 22 twice. Subtract, I get 10. So that's going to be 0 with a remainder of 10. So your answer is 20 and 10/11 batches that they can use. Okay, so they can use probably 20 batches, and then they have 10 11s, which they probably could combine with other batches later in the process to make full amounts. But for right now, they only get to use 20 and 10 11ths batches of gum when they are done. Okay, and next page I'm going to go over. Alright, got a couple more questions here. Next page, you have 3 1/4 pounds of cut carrots and 2 1 pounds of cut green beans. Make a bag. Okay, so question A, how many total pounds do you have? Well, total means to add. So I'm going to do 3 1/4 plus 2 1/2. And when I add them, I'm going to get 13/4 plus 5 halves. Okay, going to find a common denominator when I add. It's 10, and that's 4. So I'm going to rewrite that because I don't like working within my own work sometimes. And that's going to give me 23/4. Turn that into a mixed number, and you're going to get 5 3/4 pounds. Now, you can also not turn them into improper fractions. I could keep 3 1/4, plus I can make this 2 2/4, multiplying both by 2, and then I can add, and that'll give me 5 3/4. So same answer, just which way do you like to do it? Okay, this way is probably faster, the second way, but the first way works well too. Now let's answer the second question. How many bags of vegetables can you make? Remember, I'm doing 3/8 pound bags. So I'm going to take my 5 3/4, my total amount, and I'm going to divide it by 3/8, my grouping. When I turn that into an improper fraction, I'm going to go back to my 23/4. So that's kind of sometimes an advantage here of having that number. I can use it again. Divided by 3/8. Turn that into multiplication. 23/4 times 8/3. I can cross cancel. This becomes 1. That becomes 2. That's going to give me 46/3, which equals 15 1/3 bags of vegetables. Okay, how many to make bags? You want to make bags. Oh, how many bags? Here we go. How many bags? 15 1/3 bags. Okay, I'm going to move on to my next question. You want to build a wall that's 7 feet long. You're going to use bricks that are 8 3/4. Well, 12 inches in a foot, so problem 1, 7 feet times 12 inches equals 84 inches. That's it. The wall's 84 inches. Problem B, how many bricks do you need for the bottom layer? I take my total length, my total amount, 84. I divide it by my segments, 8 3/4. That's my grouping. That's my segments of my bricks. Turn that into improper fraction. 84/1 divided by 32 plus 3 is 35/4. Now I multiply by the reciprocal. 84/1 times 4/35. I can't do any cross-canceling. So, I take that back. I can do cross-canceling because 7 goes into both of these. I know that's a tough one to see, but 7 goes into both of them. 84 divided by 7 is 12. I just did that math up here. 35 divided by 7 is 5. Now I can multiply. That's going to give me 48/5. When I do that, 48 divided by 5 is 9. That's 45. So it's 9 3/5 bricks. Okay, how many bricks will you need? There's my keyword of what my label is. All right, and then the last question, my error analysis question, what's my mistake? Okay, so I look. I model 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. I circle sets of 3/8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. So that's right. Let's look at my answer. I said the answer was 1 and 2. So 1 full amount and then 2 eighths. Wait a second. I'm circling in groups of 3. So my answer should be 1 and 2/3, the amount that I'm circling in. So then I have to describe my error. My error is I did not correctly write my answer. I left the denominator as 8 when it should have been 3 because that is how much is in each group. Okay, so I did not correctly write my answer. I left the denominator 8 when it should have been 3 because that is how much is in each group. Okay, so if you need to go back and watch any of those again, go ahead. I'm sorry I went kind of fast. I'm sorry it's kind of long, but just go back and watch the parts that you need. Have a great night, and I hope this is helpful.